be 3rd and 7.
That was a bootleg pattern, a fake sweep to the left with Hufnagel coming back to his right. And he hung that ball up in the air just a little bit too long and allowed the defenders to get over there, make the play on Poplawski before he could catch it.
Do we fake it this time, Leo, or do we kick the field goal?
Well, at this stage of the game, it might be a pretty good time to fake it.
All right, let's see. Got Kennard in there. It's going to be a long one. 49 yards.
3rd and 7 for Winnipeg. Trevor Kennard into the ball game. A 49-yard field goal attempt.
I think he'll take one look at that defensive line and say, I better kick it.
It's long enough, but it's wide. Ricky Barton in the end zone. Going to use up some time. Finally chased out by Pat Kantner for a single point with 3:49 remaining in the half. 17-1, Ottawa in front of Winnipeg. What a ball game last night Warren Moon had as the Edmonton Eskimos moved into a tie for second place, defeating the Montreal Concorde.
Warren Moon, to me, is definitely the most outstanding player in this league, period. He is just going to rewrite every record that can possibly be written. And as somebody mentioned this morning, it's no wonder he has a sore arm as much throwing as he's been doing.
But he is in their offensive alignment have caused some of these breakdowns, have caused these fumbles and miscommunications, because you can't change all of those people and players.
Ball is a touchdown. Picked up by the Ottawa Rough Riders. Greg Marshall, they ruled that he was in the act of throwing when he was hit.
Well, I'm sure that if this game gets close toward the end, that there'll be some speculation on that.
So it's 2nd down. He was hit by Gary Doolan.
The official was in perfect position to see it, though. We're going to get another look at it.
Okay, Leo, you call it. Let's see it.
I'll let you call it, but there he goes back. Well, you can't tell because, thank God, the officials are saying you can't tell.
It's 2nd and 15. Penalty flag is down. Sideline pattern for Murphy, incomplete. Good coverage there by Charles Cornelius. Also a holding call against Winnipeg that I'm sure will be declined.
Cornelius, after contact was made with the reception in the hands of the receiver, came out and knocked the ball out of his hands. Good defensive play.
Winnipeg number 59, decline. 3rd down.
A holding call against Lyle Bauer, but it's been a rough afternoon so far for John Hufnagel. Bauer still limping from an injured ankle suffered earlier in this quarter.
Well, we'll see. The guard on the left is going to hold on Mark Steele. That's Lyle Bauer. Got a pretty good hold of him. That was a good defensive play. When that ball hit his hands, Cornelius arrived.
3rd down punt by Bob Cameron. Marette Ford trying to get outside. He's got some room. Finally taken down on the far side of the field at the 50-yard line. And a reminder, immediately following today's football game, a Rothmans International from Toronto Woodbine. On the kickoff return, this is Ken Haley. And he stumbles out to the 24-yard line. Rick Sovieta made the initial contact with him, then Morris Doyle came over to finish the job. A return of 18 yards for Ken Haley. 33 seconds remaining in the half. We saw Norman Gibbs earlier warming up at the Winnipeg bench. However, John Hufnagel is still directing the attack.
Ottawa's got Marette Ford in playing defensive back. He'll be lined up about 30 yards deep. They're just not going to give him anything downfield.
Going with just a 3-man rush. Complete over the middle to Willard Reed. He's got a 1st down out to the 37-yard line. 25 seconds the time remaining in the half. 27-1, Ottawa in front. A gain of 13.
This defensive alignment, if you're going to throw the ball at all, you might as well throw a screen. At least try to get some linemen in front of it. Look how deep they are. You're not going to throw anything downfield.
Again, just that three-man rush. Complete to James Murphy. He's got a first down at the 47 with 17 seconds remaining in the half.
They better get up there and get it started and get it going.
The Bombers trying to move up over that ball quickly.
Calling the automatics, a lot of huddling.
Complete to Dan Hucklack. He's down to the 33-yard line with 11 seconds. Well, they may have time for one more play.
A touchdown here would make them feel a lot better going in at halftime. Now, it's just amazing that they've played as well as they've played the last several weeks with all the changes and injuries they've had, but it's predictable that when you've had that many changes that you're going to have some problems, and it looks like it's all settling in on them this afternoon.
Well, the Blue Bombers have called a timeout. Hufnagel with a chance to confer with head man Cal Murphy and assistant coach Art Aselda. You know, we talked about what a fine job Murphy has done. Murphy gives a lot of credit to Art Aselda, who has had the task of working with quarterbacks. And John Hufnagel, as we pointed out a week ago, is the 6th starting quarterback the Bombers have employed this season.
I think the entire Winnipeg coaching staff has done good jobs. As Cal was telling us before the game, this is what it's like up front. Leo, Bobby Thompson, and Greg Marshall are going to have a little action.
Bobby said, I won that one. Greg says, yeah, but you haven't won too many this afternoon.
Ottawa took Red Ford out of there now. They're going back to their base of defense. 11 seconds. Do you think they'll blitz them?
No, I think they're going to play it safe.
Okay.
First and 10. The Bombers at the 33. The clock does not start until the ball is snapped. Hufnagel throwing deep into the end zone, incomplete with 5 seconds remaining. He was looking for Rick House.
Actually, it was a great job by Charlie Johnson. He was playing both sides. There was a pass receiver inside and outside. He was playing right in the middle. When the ball went, he went to the outside and made the play.
That's the pattern they hit Poplawski at on this side of the field. Rick House is too much speed. He gets a little bit deep, and that allows Johnson to come back and make the defensive play. That is good defense. Covered 2 men.
So with Johnson knocking down the pass intended for Rick House, with 5 seconds left, Trevor Kennard will attempt the field goal from 40 yards out. Again, it's wide. Ricky Barton will run it out of the end zone. He saved the single point, and that also takes the clock down. Were blown out by the British Columbia Lions under the dome at BC Place. But statistically, well, the scoreboard certainly tells the story of the first half of play. However, Winnipeg defensive back Kirby Wilson feels that the Blue Bombers will come back in the second half.
Right now, we're just trying to get it together. We're having a few adjustment problems. We've got a lot of new guys in there. And right now, we're just trying to get it together so we can get back in this football game.
Well,
it's
Kirby,
still not over.
Kirby, you had a lot of adjusting to make. You yourself are playing a new position, moving to the corner. You've got Donovan Rose, Ken Haley back on the other side, Reggie Pearson back in the lineup after missing 2 games. Communication must be something of a problem, a bit of familiarity missing as well.
Right, yeah, right now there is a communication problem, but like I say, it's still not over, and it's because the guys haven't played together in a few weeks, and Don's new, and you know, it's still not over. The game is still, there's still a chance to win, and we're just trying to get back in it. We're going to go in here and regroup and get it together.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Well, the Bombers certainly do have a lot of regrouping to do in this second half. They trail by 26 points. I would think, Ron, that it's a case of all the changes perhaps finally catching up with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, it's only a matter of time. You know, Winnipeg did get away with it for 4 or 5 weeks with all the changes that they made. Sooner or later, things are going to go bad. And today, defensively, they got 2 new corners. Hufnagel's still having problems with the offense, evidently, because they haven't moved the football. And they're just having their problems, and hopefully they'll get these guys well for the stretch run. But they've got to come back the second half.
We said before how difficult it is to come back on Ottawa. Ottawa are all jacked up out here this afternoon, and it's good to see a big crowd out here at Lansdowne Park. And they're all having fun because the Ottawa Rough Riders are up 27-1.
Trevor Kennard's kickoff to start the second half to Marat Ford. He finds the seam again. week against the British Columbia Lions. He was all over the field making tackles, and for a big man, this linebacker has amazing speed, as J.C. Watts will certainly attest.
Well, that was just an attempt again at the bootleg, fake to the sweep to the left and come back to the right and look for someone like he did for Newman before. But as you say, Jones come through at that big speed and caught him before he could get the ball up.
He's a rookie out of Southern University, 6'2", 220 pounds. Ken Clark is back for the third down punt, standing at his own 45. I think this is only the third time that Clark has kicked the ball this afternoon.
I think Winnipeg has it. Yes, they have.
Well, there's a break for Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The worst thing that they could have happen was Ottawa to go in their end zone for another touchdown, and they get a big break when the fumble on the reverse play that they ran earlier to Newman.
Ray Sullivan recovered that loose ball, so Winnipeg will take over inside their own 5 when we return to Lansdowne Park.
Just a reminder, following football, live coverage of the Rothmans.
Ottawa wants to score on this reverse. Watts pitches back to Newman, but watch Reggie Pearson, number 8. He makes the play. Newman tries to cut inside. The ball goes free, and after it's kicked around a while, Ray Sullivan finally recovers and gives the Bombers new life.
Just inside their own 5-yard line. They're trying to go inside with Willard Reeves. He fumbled the ball.
They need to keep this football team intact. But it's just about at the point right now where they've just suffered so many injuries, so many incapacitating vacancies on that offense and defensive unit that it's beginning to show.
And, of course, to some extent, the Blue Bombers have been authors of their own demise today. The interceptions and miscues, the fumbles, have certainly hurt, as Ottawa has been able to capitalize on almost every one.
Yeah, they have definitely been the cause of them. They've hurt themselves as much as Ottawa has.
And, of course, a reminder that this all leads up to the Grey Cup game under the dome at the stadium at BC Place. And CBC Television is responsible for all the exciting production. That includes the Shenley Awards live on the full network for the first time, the Grey Cup parade, the thrill of it all, our 90-minute pregame show, and, of course, the game itself. Ken Haley trying to find a hole. He does, and he has some speed. Will he be trapped down? All the way to the 32-yard line of Ottawa.
Now, this has been a continuation of big play after big play, and then capitalizing or not capitalizing. And Ottawa is just, fortunately for them, capitalized more often than Winnipeg. Winnipeg has had their chances.
A 70-yard return by Ken Haley.
Started out to his left and then saw it back to the right. Cut up the field and just took it on down. Got some pretty good speed. Almost caught from the back by John Lynch, who shows some pretty good speed. Number 29 got a hand on him.
I think that was a case of Haley just running out of gas. And you see he needs some help over that Winnipeg bench. Ken Miller is one of those involved in the stop, and he was slow in getting to his feet. He's heading off to that Ottawa bench, and I'm sure will be returning. Well, the Blue Bombers have a first down. Just about their deepest penetration of the afternoon on this fine return by the graduate of San Francisco State, and that's where Ken Miller was hurt. So now it's 1st and 10, Winnipeg. Hufnagel out into the flat to Hucklack. Hucklack is tackled by Ricky Barton after a pickup of about 7 yards. 11:47 is the time remaining in the third quarter. 34-1. Ottawa leads Winnipeg.
Well, a guy that we haven't seen much or heard much from that's been a great performer over the years, Rick House. I don't believe he's caught a pass this afternoon.
I think they've gone to him once. That was late in the first half. 2nd and 3. Hufnagel for Jeff Boyd. He's got the first down. He's thrown back by Charles Johnson, but his progress was about 5 yards further downfield.
The way things have been going for Winnipeg, you just keep waiting for them to fumble or throw an interception. Hufnagel just reverse pivoted and came right out. A real good catch there.
A gain of 9. Back to the live action. It's 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Into the end zone for Murphy. Incomplete. Being defended by Cornelius.
Cornelius was beaten cleanly, but then caught up with speed. And when he turned around, he was in good position to intercept as the ball went right between his hands and could have been caught by Murphy. I guess there was enough of deflection there that threw it off the target.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. John Hufnagel in his 2nd game as starting quarterback for the Blue Bombers since being acquired in an October 3rd trade with Saskatchewan. With time, throwing into the middle, Jeff Boyd, touchdown. Boyd did an excellent job in breaking loose from 2 defenders at the goal line. And the 18-yard strike from John Hufnagel makes it a 34-7 game.
Hufnagel goes straight back. Boyd's coming down. He's going to come across from right to left. Just breaks inside. And he, as you say, he broke away from 2 Ottawa defenders, made the catch. Then it's no problem because he had no one back there.
Well, this guy's been a performer. 2 touchdown passes last week. Here's another one right here after breaking loose.
So with 10:26 remaining, the point after by Trevor Kinnard makes it a 34-8 ball game. And we'll return to Lansdowne Park and the Winnipeg Blue Bomber kickoff after we pause for this message.
Makes sense to me on the we had a movement out, you know, toss something, fullback pass or whatever it was, and so I tried to call about 3 times the huddle, and finally I just said, hey, I got to call timeout, guys. Everybody's looking at me, what's this play? So when I came back in the huddle, I said, hey, sorry, guys, sometimes the quarterback can blank too, you know.
Hipple calls it high-tech football.
We'll have 2 games next weekend. On Saturday, from Montreal's Olympic Stadium, the Stampeders in the Concorde, and then a good matchup Sunday as the Eskimos go against the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg. It's the CFL on CBC.
On the kickoff, the Bombers kicking it short. Maurice Doyle grabs the ball over on the far side. There's also a penalty flag on the play.
I can hear George Brancato from here saying face mask.
Only a 31-yard kickoff by Trevor Kinnard. And the rough play call against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Stranger things have happened. Ken Haley, who had a 70-yard return earlier. Another good rundown. He fights his way out to the 49-yard line.
Well, I don't know there today whether it's a case, Ron, of there's being great punt returns and kickoff returns or poor coverage, but they're certainly breaking some big ones.
I'll tell you what, it's been a day of big plays. I was just noticing the stats at the halftime. There wasn't a whole lot of difference in the statisticals compared to what the score was. It's been real big plays. Plays like you're talking about, Leo. Here's one. Another kickoff return for good yardage. We've had a punt return, many good kickoff returns both ways. It's just been unbelievable. And Watts has got maximum yardage out of his pass completions.
Willard Reeves, who was back with Haley on the kickoff return team, threw a key block, enabling Haley to return it for 39 yards. The pass complete to Rick House. First down inside the 50 of Ottawa. You mentioned Rick House a few minutes ago, Leo. That's his first catch of the day, but that keeps alive his consecutive game string.
Well, I think a lot of fans forget about him being hurt earlier in the season and what a great performer he's been over the last several years. That was just another one of the adjustments that the Winnipeg team had to make.
Well, he played the first half of the season with a thumb that had been broken. And then he missed a couple of games with a hip injury. Deep for James Murphy, overthrown by John Hufnagel. They had set that up, Ron. You were indicating, pointing downfield before the play got underway, that they were going to go deep.
We had a miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. The receiver went down and went to the post, went inside. Hufnagel threw the ball outside. That's just miscommunication on their part. But I think the receiver had the right idea. He was open inside.
2nd and 10. The ball is at the Ottawa 49. 6:40 is the time remaining in this third quarter. It's 41-8. Ottawa comfortably for James Murphy again, incomplete. He was covered by Charles Cornelius.
Well, the Bombers read the blitz coming. Hufnagel tried to hit a quick slant to Murphy. The guy that made the play is number 34 for Ottawa, Harrison. He gets back and gets that big one of these times, Leo. They've got to do something. Get some momentum. Ottawa's got all the momentum right now.
Sure, Nolan Murphy, he loves this kind of thing, too. And a ball game like this, he has nothing to lose.
Now he's going to kick it. The ball bounces into the end zone. Newman concedes the single point. So it's now 41-9. Ottawa leading Winnipeg. 6:02 is the time remaining in the third quarter.
And this program is copyrighted and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or exhibition in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, is strictly prohibited. I was going to say with there for a moment.
I still think it's easier to just say you can't use this.
Needs this CFL 83 action to Grey Cup 83 under the dome at the stadium at BC Place, and CBC Television will be producing an exciting week of activity. On the Thursday, live coverage on the network for the first time of the Shenley Awards, then followed by the Grey Cup Parade, our pregame show on Sunday, the thrill of it all, and the game itself. The field goal attempt by Oregon is going to fall short. Paul Bennett lets it bounce into the end zone for a single point. So with 4:16 remaining.
Next week on Sports Weekend, world-class figure skating.
Well, we indicated earlier that approximately 26,000 were in attendance at Lansdowne Park. We were out by just about 400. Leo will have to do a little better job of taking that count at the gate. Willard Reeves is dropped for a loss. Well, John Hufnagel started the ball game. He's been able to deliver one touchdown strike to Jeff Boyd, but with the score 42-9 in Ottawa's favor, Ron, I wouldn't be surprised if Norman Gibbs is going to get some playing time.
Well, he's got his helmet on down there warming up on the sideline, so I would say it's a pretty good indication he'll be in for the entire fourth quarter.
It's 2nd and 13. For Jeff Boyd, it's almost picked up. Charles Johnson came over to...
Speaking about that attendance, Lou Heyman, who was the president of the Argonaut football team, he could look in the stands and tell you within 50 people about how many people there were in there. He had the greatest eye for that I ever saw.
Marat Ford takes the kick at the 35. He stopped this time after a return of about 2 yards. That's a 41-yard punt by Bob Cameron. And we have 2:56 remaining in the third quarter. At the 38.
Well, that's what it was to this side. They had Skip Walker go to the wide side to fake it, and then he come back short side of the field to Dave Newman, and they had two linemen out in front of him, but Winnipeg reacted well. This guy, Don, you mentioned his game last week. Watch the play he makes here. I thought last week was as fine a defensive performance by an individual that I'd seen this year. I don't have any doubt about it. He was super.
Well, we chose him despite the loss to the British Columbia Lions. Our Carling O'Keefe third down kick, and is stopped at the 42 by Larry Titley.
Well, we've heard many coaches say that if you're going to go anywhere